Hi, I'm Michael Appel. Joining me today is a member of the BizNews community, Emile de Beer. He's going to be chatting to us about a looming environmental disaster after attempted or successful diesel theft on the Transnet pipeline between Durban and Heidelberg. Emile, thanks for joining us, and just give us a bit of a background, what you do, where you are, and what you've seen.
Morning, Michael. Yes, thanks for having the chance to speak to you. I'm just a normal, I own filling stations in and around Harrismith, and what I've seen is just the theft of what took place with this diesel. It's next to the Meul River, close to Verkerkerskop in our region, and it's an absolute disaster. The Meul River joins up with the Wilge River, close to Harrismith, and the Wilge River eventually ends up in the Vaal River. And all along the Wilge River, until you get to the Vaal River and there onward, is farmers that's using that water for irrigation and things like that. So everybody's been affected by this. Hopefully the Spill Tech guys can clear it up quickly and efficiently. But I think there's so much diesel that's already went into the river that you won't get all of it sorted out, and it's not nice to see.
I mean, does this sort of thing happen quite often, Emile? Has it happened a lot that you have attempted theft on the pipeline or tampering with the pipeline?
This is from what I know, this is definitely the second time that this has happened at the same point, and it's a big amount of diesel that's been spilled. You will see from the pictures that I've sent you. They actually use a car jack or something to lift up the big concrete block on top of the building there. And then they put pieces of wood underneath to keep it up. And then they'll join those big pipes with the valves. That pipeline is under immense pressure. So when they connect that pipe to the valves, and then they fill up a big link truck with 40,000 liters of diesel. And they do that very quickly because of all the pressure they have. And obviously, when they were to disconnect this pipe, something went wrong and they damaged the valve, and they just left it like that and disappeared. So, there's thousands of liters of diesel that's been spilled there. And if I've got it correct, I think 1 liter of diesel or oil can contaminate 1 million liters of water. So the type of damage that's taking place here is it's large. It's huge.
Emile, I want to read from a Transnet statement that came out recently. I reached out to them this morning, and they said they have responded on this. I just want to read a quick portion. It says, in the early hours of Wednesday morning, 9th March 2022, a pressure drop on the multi-product pipeline between Durban and Heidelberg was detected by the Transnet Pipeline's National Control Center. The security tactical teams were dispatched to investigate the incident. It was confirmed there was tampering with a block valve chamber, which resulted in a massive diesel spill into the environment. The emergency teams were immediately deployed to site to contain and recover the product. The diesel also has now migrated to the Meul River, and the environmental teams are doing their utmost to contain the contamination. In the past year, Transnet has implemented various security interventions to address fuel theft attempts, which has yielded positive results and reduced the number of incidents by 50% compared to prior years. Emile, you're in the fuel industry. This is quite something. When you were at the site yesterday, did you see the emergency teams on site trying to contain and recover the diesel?
No, I didn't see them when I was there. These pictures were taken before they even arrived on site. So I don't know at what time they arrived there and if they were prepared for such a big spill such as the one that took place now. But I reckon they'll be prepared and they'll try and do it. But it just doesn't stop there with diesel. And this is now from experience that I've had in the past. Diesel is not something, you're not going to clean it up today and tomorrow the mess is gone. There needs to be ongoing intervention with that piece of, how can I say, land and where that river runs. It's going to take time. It's going to take a year or 6 or 7 months before all the grass and everything starts growing again. So this is not something that Transnet can just send a team out for a day and sort it out. But I reckon they will know what to do and how to treat a situation like this. This is just something that the public, and what I think is everybody should just know. There's obviously a market for this diesel.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the black market for diesel. What's your experience with
and
that?
Harrismith and on the N3, there's a lot of trucks passing by, and there's always trucks standing next to the road. That's where people are siphoning diesel from and buying diesel and selling cheaper diesel. So wherever the public comes in and you see that you are able to buy diesel at R1.50 or R2 a litre, cheaper than at a normal filling station, the red light should go on and you should start asking yourself, how is this person possible to sell it so much cheaper than anyone else? And we should make sure that we as the public don't create a market for that. So I know it's probably nice to save 150 or 100 Rand on a tank of fuel, but if you see what's happening on the other side where you create the market, then you will definitely not do it.
So, as somebody who is in and has numerous filling stations, is that something you are consistently aware of, that there is this black market out there? How do you combat it exactly?
You can't really combat it because you cannot compete against those prices. You buy your fuel from oil companies at the national list price, and that's the price that you pay for fuel. You can't buy it R2 cheaper or R3 cheaper. So when those guys come into the market and they start selling cheaper than you just need to take it on the chin, and we can report it to the Department of Minerals and Energy, and if you see someone or you're aware of someone that's selling it at those prices and where there's a black market, and they'll investigate it. But it's also not something that you're going to stop overnight. It's these guys know where to operate, and if they've sold 50 or 20,000 litres to someone else and it's into his tanks, how will you know? He's just going to make more profit.
Speaking of taking it on the chin, while I've got you on the line, South Africans are going to feel some pain at the pump, I suspect, come the first Wednesday of next month. The oil prices going up as much as they have. What are your thoughts? How high could petrol go? Or is that an unfair question to you?
No, I think we should just understand how the petrol price is made up. About 50% or half of the price, let's say it's 21 Rand a litre now. So 10 Rand 50 or 12 Rand of that is the actual price of the fuel. The rest is made up out of taxes and levies and things. So if the price goes up by 30 or 40%, it's only the 11 Rand, the actual cost of the fuel, that can go up by 30 or 40%. So I think it'll stop somewhere around 25 to 27 Rand a litre. I can't see it going much higher. And then soon after that, things will start to normalize, because if there's no market for fuel, eventually, or it gets too expensive for people and they start doing other things, it's all about demand and what's it?
Demand and supply.
Demand and supply. And if it's too expensive, people will just stop using it like anything else. I can already see, just to tell you something, I've had incidents on my filling station, which I've never seen in my life over the last 2 weeks. I probably had 5 customers, young ladies with small cars, that comes into my office and screams at me and says, your pumps aren't working. And they literally fill up with 100 Rand. And for 100 Rand now, you get 4.6 litres of fuel. So they drive the car until there's only 9 days left to go, and then they fill up with 4.6 litres and the gauge doesn't lift. And they come in and they just don't understand that that's actually what's happening. And we also sell filling stations. It's difficult for us. We get our margins, our profits per litre, and you get guys that he's only going to fill up with 500 Rand a week. If you used to sell 25 litres to him, now you're only selling 20 or 19 litres to him, and he makes it work with that 500 Rand. Doesn't matter how slow he goes, so it affects everyone. Our industry is also suffering because of it.
Yeah, the The headlines are 40 Rand a litre coming. Are you saying, okay, South Africa, just take it a little easy? Dit gaan nie so vinnig so hoog gaan nie.
Yeah, well, I can't see that happening so quickly. It'll be bad, but I don't think it will be. It will go there. Not that soon.
Okay.
We're going from If we go from 65 Rand a barrel to 130 Rand a barrel, that means the cost of fuel has doubled. So that'll take, worst case, will take us to 30 Rand a litre. And if the Rand is strong like now, or stays where it is, I don't think the effects will be too bad.
Emile, I saw somebody saying yesterday that there's been, at least in Gauteng, an increase in people filling up and driving away. Have you had incidents of that?
Yeah, we do get incidents of that. It happens. It's it's a difficult.
Is that a sign of the times?
Yeah, it's they say I don't know if you've seen a WhatsApp going around. If you fill up for 1,800 Rand, you drive off. 6 months later, you'll go to court and you'll get a fine for 1,000 Rand. So you save 850. So I think sometimes that's the mentality. But it's happened to us as well, and we're very aware of it, and the tenants are trying to manage it best as they can. But when it happens to you, it happens so quickly, there's nothing that you can do.
Well, tough times all around. And Emile de Beer, thank you so much for sending on those photos to us and making us aware of the situation there. It's something we're going to keep looking at and reach out to Transnet to see how that that cleanup or that mop-up recovery process is going. And as you say, diesel is not something you just quickly mop up. It's got knock-on effects for months to come. Emile de Beer, appreciate your time. Thank you.